Welcome. Scott here. Today I am bringing you another Black Clover mobile video. This is my second Mage build guide. In this video, I will be covering on the recently released story Mage, Hateful Fana. In general, Hateful Fana is a sense attribute type attacker. Her key roles involve the following. She is a damage dealer where her damage output scales off the amount of active hatred stacks. The more hatred stacks that she has, the more damage she will do. Skill 1 gives 1 stack of hatred and Skill 2 gives 2 stacks. Fana plays a dynamic and impactful role within a party, and her contributions are significant in shaping the team's strategy. Here's an overview of her role in the party. She is a high damage dealer. Fana serves as a primary damage dealer, particularly excelling in dealing both single target and area of effect or AoE damage. Her ultimate ability, with damage scaling based on hatred stacks, allows her to unleash devastating attacks, making her a formidable force in battles. Whether targeting a single opponent or hitting multiple enemies with her AoE skill, Fana's damage output is amongst the highest in the game. She offers versatile AoE utility. Fana's AoE skill not only deals substantial damage but also guarantees the application of burn. This makes her an excellent choice for teams focusing on burn damage strategies. The AoE utility extends her effectiveness in various team compositions, especially those centered around exploiting burn effects for additional damage. To use Fana well, you need to strategize on how to manage her hatred stacking mechanic. Players need to carefully manage and accumulate hatred stacks to maximize her ultimate's damage potential. This dynamic element encourages players to plan their moves and consider the optimal times to unleash Fana's most powerful attacks. With her passives, she provides support for the party and boosts her own survivability. Her LR passive provides team-wide stun block or status abnormality immunity at the start of the turn if the entire team is composed of green units. Additionally, her dupe passive triggers immortality and damage reduction when she reaches 1% HP with 5 hatred stacks. This resilience allows her to endure tough situations and continue contributing to the team's success. At LR plus 2, if her hatred stacks level is at 5, she will gain immortality buff for 1 turn when her HP drops to 1%. Her HP will heal back to 50% at the end of the wave. At LR plus 5, on top of the immortality mechanic, she also gains a passive that allows her to reduce damage received by 50% whenever she is afflicted with a taunt or enhanced taunt. This is very useful against meta arena opposition mages like Black Asta or Mereoleona. Generally, Hateful Fana is a low investment unit. Even at base level, she still serves very well since her primary role is damage. You can use her in nuking setups since you can just accumulate her hatred stacks before having Fana to unleash her special. If you want to use her in PvP, she can work in mono green team comps even with base copy. However, in PvP, it always benefit the first turn basis, so it is better to have her LR plus 2 for the immortality. If you get her to LR plus 5, it will boost her survival ability when she is locked at a taunt by opposition mages. For skill pages, you can use any attack-based skill page like her own, her base form skill page, or Breath of Darkness. If you are using the burn team comp, you can make use of Clover Fuego Leon skill page to abuse the burn effects. But using that strategy requires high skill page investment. As she is an attacker, her optimal gear sets are primarily advanced attack. Critical rate and critical damage will be your primarily focus when building her gear. So should I pull for her? In my opinion, there isn't a general consensus on whether to pull for a unit. It really depends on whether you are a free-to-play or having a vast roster already. If your roster have meta attackers like Julius, Swimsuit Noelle, or Rhea, you will be fine with skipping her. If your roster is lacking an attacker mage, she is definitely the best in the class for that. She fits well in both PvP and PvE setups. Also, please do remember she is a story mage. So she will be added to the future banner pools. In the upcoming month banners, she will be included in the mages pool. It is possible to get her while chasing for the future story, seasonal or festival mages. If you want to get her but your resources is low and need to save for the upcoming festival mages, Julius and Mereoleona, I would suggest you to wait, since you can always make use of custom selective summon to get a rate up banner when you want to get her. Now let me discuss a bit on the general setups involving her. In PvE setups, her primarily role is the nuker for the party. Pair her with offensive supports like Sally, Finral, Voltos, Swimsuit Gauche or Gifso to provide offensive buffs to boost her damage output. Generally, you need to build her hatred stacks with skill 1 and 2 before nuking the enemy with her special. In PvP setups, she excel in general 2 types of team comps, mono green team comp or burn focused setup. For mono green team comp, you need to bring Mereoleona and Ceremony Charlotte to support her. Mereoleona will block all the danger with her mana skin, while Charlotte will shield her with her barrier buff. The last member can be either an supporter or debuffer mage like Rill, Geldra, Swimsuit Vanessa, SR Vanessa, or Fateful Vanessa. The longer she survives, the higher chance that she can unleash her nuke, thus bringing victory for your party. In a burn-focused team comp, you can equip her with the Clover Academy Fuego Leon skill page if it is heavily enhanced, and pair her with other burn units like Mereoleona, Ceremony Magna, or Party Costume Charmy. In that team comp setup, she probably will need LR+2 as a minimum requirement. Before I proceed to talk about her kit, let me briefly explain the fundamentals of building a good team comp. In general, every good team comp needs a balanced set of characters playing their various roles. To be honest, bringing a full team of attacker mages won't get you to clear endgame content. Since Hateful Fana will be your primarily damage dealer, you need to bring a combination of offensive and defensive support that consists of other mage class such as defender, healer, or debuffer mages to round up your party. Being an attacker mage, skills upgrade is very important. Even at level 2, you can see exponential increase in your skill damage potencies. To upgrade the skills, you need to use wool shards. Wool shards can be bought at the world regional shops monthly. If you upgrade your world reputation to level 2, you will unlock the option to buy the highest tier upgrade material. If you haven't done so, I will suggest you to start leveling up the reputation level by doing bond patrol or memory hall fights for that specific world. You can also get skills upgrade materials at your squad shop if you have joined a squad. You can buy them weekly with guild medals or monthly with guild raid coins. So try to level up and join a guild. If you have spending power, you can buy skills enhancement chests at the premium Black Crystal shop. Now let me go through her skill set. Her skill 1 Harp is a single target HP attack and grants her a stack of her hatred buff. If her target has afflicted with taunt debuff, she gained 35% increased damage buff before unleashing the attack. Her skill 2 Pincer Movement is an AoE attack ability that grants her 2 stacks of her hatred buff. She will applies a stack of burn debuff on all target for 2 turns. Burn debuff is a continuous damage debuff that scales off 20% of both Fana attack and magic attack stats. The effect will activate at the start of the unit's turn. If you have equipped Fana with her designated skill page, there is a 60% chance of her afflicting a taunt debuff for 1 turn on targeted enemy. Her special is another AoE attacking ability. The skill damage will scales based off the number of hatred stack. Before I talk about the scaling mechanics, it is important to note that the skill will remove barrier buff on a random ally. So just pray that it isn't on Fana, since most attacker mages are generally glass cannon. If there is no hatred buff, Fana extra attack damage will scales off 30% of combined of both Fana's attack and magic attack stats. If there is a hatred buff, Fana extra attack damage will scale off based on number of stacks ranging from 50% with 1 stack to 180% with 5 full stacks. Her combined attack is a single target ability with Fana inflict taunt on the target. This is an ability you probably will never use if you are using Fana. Generally, her rotation is pretty simple. Start off with skill 2 for 2 hatred stacks and use her skill 1 for another hatred stack and unleash her special. If you give her very strong attack gear with combined attack stats over 50k, she will probably wipe the opposition party once she uses her special. So make an effort to invest and upgrade her skill's damage potencies and you will reap the benefit a lot. Now let's cover on her skill page. Her skill page allows her upon being afflicted with taunt or enhanced taunt, she will has 40% chance of granting herself 20% increased damage dealt for a turn. At max enhancement, you will have a guaranteed chance of activating the increased damage buff and the potencies will improve from 20% to 40% as well. Unless you are targeting the upper leagues and have big spending power, I won't recommend you to chase too hard for the skill page. You can end up hurting your resources to pull for the upcoming units. As the skill page has 60% chance causing Fana to afflict taunt on the selected target. I would suggest you to use other skill pages if you don't intend to bring your Fana to LR+2. With her immortality buff, you are setting up your Fana to die faster. Similar to most attackers, if you don't have their skill page, you can use skill page that focus on raising their damage potencies. For skill page replacement, you can use base Fana skill page or Breath of Darkness, the free SSR skill page that you get at the start of the game. You can also use Breath of Fire skill page when you are tackling PvE content. If you are bringing Fana in a burn-oriented setup for PvP content, you can equip her with Clover Academy Fuego Leon skill page which gives a chance of increased damage from her burn debuffs. However, to abuse that strategy, you need high investment on that skill page. Now let's cover on her talents. To understand what is the best talent settings, you need know the mage's role. Fana's primary role is a nuker attacker mage. Fighting a prolonged battle won't benefit her a lot, so you want to kill off the opposition or deal as much damage possible once she uses her special. For her attack talent will, I would suggest giving her increased critical damage and sharp mind which boost both critical damage and total damage dealt potencies. For craved stone, you can use destruction talent stone or attack talent stone. Attack talent stone is used if you intend to bring Fana for a burn-oriented setup. For the defense talent wheel, I recommend you to go for the endurance defensive talent, which gives her 4% defense and 2% critical resistance, up to 5 times per wave along with increased defense that boost her defense by 20%. For the craved stone, you will want to give her the defense talent craved stone. In the support talent wheel, you should choose the increased damage resistance for the 10% damage reduction. For the other talent, you can pair it with either Mage's Blessing or increased accuracy or penetration. Mage Blessing allows her to have a 20% chance of cool down her skill 2 which could allow her to spam her skill 2. This will help a lot to build her hatred stacks. You can also opt to use increased accuracy and penetration to enhance her damage potencies. Penetration stats is good for attackers. Whenever your mage attacks, a certain portion of the target's defense is ignored when damage is dealt based on the character's penetration stat. On the other hand, accuracy will helps to boost Fana's survivability as it allows her to have higher chance of damage reduction activation. Personally, I would recommend the Mage's Blessing over increased penetration and accuracy. This setup strikes a good balance, considering her flexibility with kits and abilities. For craved stone, I will prioritize on giving her critical resistance or life talent stone. Avoid speed stone if you don't have higher grade speed stones on your supporters or debuffers. In any nuking setup, you will want your debuffers and supporters take their turns to set up the debuffs and party support buffs before the nuker attacker mage unleash their attacks. If you intend to bring Fana to endgame PvE content or PvP, I would highly recommend you max out all her talent wheels. Now let's focus on her gear sets. Generally, you want to target for advanced gear sets pieces. It doesn't matter whether you give Fana attack or magic attack since her hatred mechanics scales off both attack and magic attack stats. The Omnius gear set is the most important gear sets that you want to equip on Fana, since it will boost both her magic attack and attack stats by 7%. Depend on the content you are targeting, you can give her advanced speed set so she moves faster for her to set up her hatred stacks. Fana needs 3 to 4 turns to ramp up to 5 hatred stacks. The last gear set pieces can be either boosting her critical rate or critical damage. As a general rule of thumb for any attacker mage gear, you will want to have as high critical rate and critical damage stats for the mage when they equip the gear. To nuke any enemy of 1,000,000 HP and above, Fana need to have at least total 25k of attack and magic attack stats and at least 80% critical damage. To trigger critical damage, you need to have decent critical rate. I will recommend you to have minimally at least 55% critical rate, since you can cover the shortfall with critical rate gear or critical rate up buffers like Sally or Finral. If you don't have Sally, please do consider in getting her in future ticket exchange. She is really a valuable supporter that complements nuking setup. If you don't have good barrier support, the advanced defense set will be important for Fana's survivability, but you need to enchant a lot to boost the gear's critical rate and critical damage. You can refer to the gear set shown on rightmost on the screen. For gear substats, I will suggest you to focus on critical rate and critical damage first, followed by attack stats. Generally, you boost your attack over time by transcending attacking gear pieces. With this, I have come to end of my video guide. If you like the video, please give a like. Please subscribe to support the channel to bringing you more Black Clover mobile content. Have a nice day. Bye.